Well, so as my luck would have it, believe it or not, somebody actually threw this away. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, but no, it was in the trash pile along with a whole bunch of other things he was throwing away. And I went out today and was lucky enough to find this. I don't know if I've ever told you guys how it works, how I find all this stuff. Basically, twice a year, each neighborhood has an opportunity to throw whatever they want garbage-wise to the curb. There are certain things that the city won't pick up, but at the end of it, the city comes and picks everything up and hauls it away. The problem is, I don't normally find things like this because there's other scrappers that I'm competing with. And most of these scrappers are literally scrapping things like this for scrap metal value. Well, I could fix this thing and maybe turn it around and sell it for, you know, maybe 80 bucks. My area, things like this typically go for quite a bit of money on Craigslist. They will, I've seen them do it, they will literally take this stuff, throw it in with a whole heap of scrap metal in the back of their trucks and just go to the local recycling center and just dump all the stuff there. So they might only get, you know, maybe $1 or $2 for something like this in scrap metal value. And it just boggles my mind, but whatever. That's kind of what I have to compete with nowadays, unfortunately. Everybody does this and scraps, or it seems like more and more people are doing it every year. So it's harder and harder for me to find things like this. Now this thing, as I was saying, the guy was just throwing out a bunch of stuff, and he must have just thrown this to the curb, because I saw him in his garage and he was poking around looking for more stuff to throw away. And man, if anybody else had driven by this, they would have picked it up, you know, just like I did. So it was good that I got to it before somebody else did. So preliminary inspection, the unit seems to be in pretty good shape. No real problems with rust. I mean, some of the hardware is rusty. It might have been outside for a certain length of time, but most of it looks to be in pretty good condition. It's a 3.5 horse Briggs & Stratton. I actually have an older version of this motor sitting waiting for me to rebuild the carburetor and clean out the gas tank. Haven't gotten to that yet, but hopefully this will prove a lot easier to fix and clean up. So the first thing, before I do anything else, let's determine if this thing has good compression. And it does. So let's check and see if there's oil in it. There is. Probably could stand to use a couple more drops, but that's good enough for our purposes for now. There's the model and date stamp for those of you who care to read that. So now, I already have done a preliminary inspection on this before I started the video, but I'm just showing you guys, you know, what I do. I haven't taken the plug out yet, so let's go ahead and do that. And I have not checked it for spark. Plug actually looks to be in really good shape. I would not be surprised if they had replaced this thing. So what I'm going to do now is check it and see if there's spark. And when I do that, I'm going to put the plug back in and ground it out on the top of the cylinder head like this, or on one of the pieces of hardware. And hopefully I can get some spark made. Now after I do that, we'll go on to step 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and slide the plug back in. See if we can get some spark made. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're getting spark. So that means I don't have to do any work to the coil or magneto. Go ahead and put the plug back in. Now, before I turn the camera on, I did try and start this thing and it was not starting. That's the part I have to replace right there. Might go ahead and get a new gasket as well, but that gasket still looks good. So I wanted to give you guys a quick video on the mowers I have for sale and just the state of the Hoard right now. So I have this one over here. I brought this one out here because I need to drain the gas tank and drain the carburetor on it, put some fresh gas in it. But this one's basically ready to go other than that. you notice, it's still kind of wet. I just pressure washed all the mowers except for a couple of them. Honda pressure washer. And this is the state of the Hoard right now. That's what those parts are for right there. Got to go to the specialty mower shops to pick up those carburetor parts. None of the big box stores like Lowe's or Home Depot have them. So that one should work fine. Then as far as the rest of the mowers go, I did, as I said, go through and give them a good cleaning. This one's ready for sale. I just took pictures of it. It's ready to go. This one didn't clean up all that well just because I was pressure washing them in the dirt, so there's water spots, but they look a lot better than they did. As you can see, there's a little bit of dirt, mud spots right there. This one's ready to go. And this one right here, Old Faithful, one of the first mowers I picked up before I started doing all this stuff, is it's ready to go as well. I did touch up the handle a little bit with some spray paint. That way it's not as rusty. But this mower runs perfect, so it's ready to go as well. Now we get to the stuff that's still in need of repair. This one doesn't need any repairs. This is the shop mower, I guess. It runs perfectly. I've been using it lately to cut all the weeds and everything, and it just does not stop. 6.5 horsepower motor. This thing has definitely got some power. I'm not going to sell this one anytime soon, unless of course I find something better, which is what I did with that one. And I would have kept that one, but I've got this one and it's self-propelled, so can't keep everything. Lawnmowers are like kittens, I guess. Then we have this one. This one I ordered a rebuild kit for the carburetor. I pulled the carburetor back off of it and inspected it a little bit more. I saw one of the Welsh plugs has a little bit of rust on it. So a new carburetor, the only one I found was like 20 bucks and the rebuild kit was 10. So I'm going to try and rebuild it. It doesn't really take too much to rebuild these. These are a lot easier than the Tecumseh carburetors to rebuild. Those are a pain in the ass. Well, more so of a pain in the ass. And then I have the, well, the big parts, I guess. That deck is still good. There's no rust holes in it. It does need to be refurbished, which that's not that big of a deal. Of course, if I had a sandblaster, it would be a lot easier to refurbish some of this stuff. This block, no idea if it's salvageable. I didn't need to pull off any of the parts on it, or even, you know, swap any parts onto it to see if it works, because I think this one's salvageable. So that's kind of what we're looking at with that. And then this Power Pro deck, which the mower was blowing on it, though it did still run fine, amazingly enough. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. The transmission on it is still good. I know that for sure. All the wheels on it are, most of them are still good anyways. Now I've got a small collection of mower bags, 3 to be exact. One of them goes to that one. The one for that one is outside. I still believe it's outside. I'll have to look at that in a minute. And one of these Craftsman bags. One of these I picked up off the street, and I forget which one it was. But anyways, they I think I only have one right now that's doesn't account for anything that I have here. This mower bag here, actually I've got the wrong one. That's a Boland's. That belongs on this one. Whoops. That one still needs work anyways. So that's the state of the collection right now. This one right here, I still have the motor off of it. This is going to be a more involved project. I have no doubt in my mind that this motor will run perfectly. But the problem is, I still haven't really researched it too much about rebuilding it. There is some stuff I need to look at, and the gas tank I think is up there somewhere. But all that needs is just at the very least, a more thorough carburetor cleaning. That pickup tube has definitely seen better days. That's why I said this one is just going to need a lot of work to get it working again. Plus it one of the little actuator levers broke off right there, that one right in the middle. That thing just clean broke off. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I could probably find another carburetor for it on eBay, which is probably what I'm going to do. But other than that, it's just a kind of a quick update. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. These mower videos that I've been making have been attracting quite a few new people to the channel, so that's good. So I'm just going to keep doing them. Anyways, guys, you all stay classy.